Zambia. Well, the good news is out in the stands, the numbers seem to have increased quite a bit, which is exactly what we were hoping for. Coming into this encounter here in the afternoon with maybe a few youngsters out of school and having the ability to come out and enjoy the football and show. But there's certainly more of a reaction and noise coming from the stands outside of just the young men from Kumbulani High now. So interesting will be the opening exchanges between these sides as we see what is a very young South Africa here betting against Angola. Well, involved quite a fair bit as Vitboy, as we mentioned in that midfield area in the build-up to this match. Really, amongst those that see the most of the ball in the early exchanges, that's good movement off the ball here. And, well, yeah, and did well to stay on the feet and keep the ball alive then from a South African point of view then. Good pressure applied back from the front, and in the end, it's the Angolans that very nearly profited from it. So unlucky the ball didn't go through the legs then, but had it done so, the South Africans may have found themselves being punished for losing the ball in a dangerous area. Souza Garcia, and that the man in your picture. Let's go with a chance to clear their lines here. Well, so the Angolans will look to keep the pressure on. Need to do much better than that in not only the attempted goal, but decision making and composure. There was time on the ball then. There were plenty of options. Bayer maybe needed the communication from those around her that she could hold on to the ball and take her time about things. So very interesting to see how this young South African side will fare, not only just mentally, but physically as well. Against this Angolan side, many will be looking at them and looking to quite possibly make examples of them in this group. We already saw a very strong looking Mozambican side, although that's hard to say and confirm with what we saw coming back in the fight, or lack thereof, from Mauritius. Not for Angola. They will very much be aware of the opportunity that presents itself here today in coming up with a huge upset that may very well set tongues wagging by the closer pilgrims today. Bit of time and space on that far side. There's good movement on that left flank. South Africans very quick to deal with that space. Struggling just a bit to hold on to the ball in that midfield and beyond. That boy calming things down just a bit here. Vilagazi. Tamasi. That's a foul that will go the way of the South Africans then. A little over eager on the defensive end then. A little bit too much onto that. Easy foul to call for the match referee as the South Africans try something special. Again, I mentioned how this will be interesting from a physical point of view, considering the age of the South Africans here. So far, it looks as though a few, maybe one or two just up to this point. Not too many, maybe one or two But the Angolan ladies are winning the physical side of their duels with the South African ahead of them. Well, they're confident enough to look to build from the back are the Angolans. Yeah, the South Africans are confident enough that they're closing down right from the front. So much so that it's impressed the fans out in the stands. They respond by applauding the positive efforts. Limaseko on that far side with the effort. Plays for TUT ladies. They are a good number in the starting lineup. But TUT ladies players are so unlucky. See, the intention should look left, and maybe one or two of us thought left. So went straight down the middle, then with the little thinking reverse pass. Fortunately, the angle didn't quite complement the movement of the striker. Again, the closing down from the front game is working quite impressively for South Africa, keeping the Angolans pinned back. Manuela Simão plays for GR Gilamba back home with the error. So the ball got into touch. I believe that maybe will have been a start showing challenge from Velazi, another of the TUT ladies out there. It's been interesting because she initially looked to control the ball with the studs and it ran away from her. She followed that up in what was then the 50-50 ball with studs exposed once again. Fortunately, there wasn't too much damage done to the opponent. Now, the Angolans with a chance to move into the South African half. Once again, the stunning work to ensure they aren't successful in doing so. That boy. Looking for pace. Out on the far side of the South Africans. Confusion here. The referee's whistle went. Some were possibly hoping for a set piece. Others feeling it's a throw in. Not clear to one or two out there by the look of it. Here's Sosa Garcia. Now, it has been solved, the mystery of what sort of play will take off from that far side. A set piece it will be. So the South Africans having four inside the box, all starting from offside positions and one lurking just outside of the box. In fact, three will start from offside positions. Great movement as the ball is eventually played in, but in the end, to be 100% honest with you, was nowhere near any of the South African ladies. It is a set piece that needed much better quality. Well, the South Africans are doing a good job of thwarting the Angolans from playing much so far in this encounter. It need be said. It's been a start that's full of energy inside the opening 10 here from both these sides. The way the South Africans have really impressed is their pressing game and how high up the field they've managed to win the ball on a good few occasions. Well, an attempt to maybe win the referee's decision, maybe not once but twice, comes to naught for the South Africans. They will eventually get the decision for what's clearly a foul. Margaret stays for Agosto. Back home in Angola. Extremely physical then. Pauline! Could be a chance here for South Africa. Oh, here then, not once but twice. Just good placement from Margaret. He's looking a bit tired now. South Africa keeping the pressure on. Yes, it's gone. Oh, it's gone only wide. Oh, they'll feel they should have gotten on the score sheet on that occasion. Angola with the opportunity, then time and space, and nothing wrong with the first time shot. Just needed better placement. That's just good pressure. People in all sorts of trouble. Margaret, brave as ever. And I don't know if she's winded following the last block, but doesn't seem to respond to the best of her ability. Nothing wrong with the first time shot there. Just better placement. So, I think it's safe to say opening 10 minutes may very well belong to South Africa. And just how this match has started. Now, I'm going to again guilty of very nearly losing the ball inside their own half. Well, as I was saying that. Happened all too often in the early stages here. That's the attacking approach from the South African coach. And that's Imperial Group, who's well, earned her stripes. Not only with the South African Football Association, but up and down the continent as well. Seems to have still South Africa in good stead here as they work the width and look for the header on the near post. At the shots, looking for placement then. The bit boy. Well, there may be a few that would have wondered about this young South African squad and how much they could withstand at this level. You are so far, if you're just joining us, they seem to have their heads screwed on right, and but I do believe it's safe to say own the first 10 minutes of the game at the very least here, just tactically and such. Glad to notice more and more fans are filling up out on that far side. Many will be looking to go out to that far side. I'll tell you why. It's chillier than expected out here in Port Elizabeth, especially for those of us that arrived here yesterday. So everybody's looking to stay out in the sun for as long as the sun will be available. Now, error. See South Africa picking up high up the field again. That's a good challenge. Hey, what, she's had a good game, the lady on the ball right now. Those are two blocks that were crucial in protecting a goalkeeper. Not just that, but yeah, she's one of our business out there. She's been very crucial to things staying at 0-0. The pace. Nothing wrong with the challenge. Corner it will be to the South Africans then. Challenge from Vanuza Francisco. Another of the Agosto players out there in this starting lineup. Also a good number of players out there. Ball into the far post. Defense doing just enough to deny South Africa on that occasion. But once you saw Aaron Herbs keeping up on the blind side, one started to get the feeling something could possibly be up for the South Africans then. Definitely didn't hold back. And you have it blind side popping up, and the response, in fact, and anticipation from Matuvova, the young lady wearing number 5 from the Angolans, seems to have done the job. Look, she wasn't positioned right at all. She knew where the danger was coming from and knew just where to put her body. Awkward was the situation, but in the end, it got the job done. The scoreline still remains South Africa no, Angola no. Now, this turn, yeah, and shots! Way off the mark from Kusisiwe Himeni, mother of the TUT lady. We need to fall back in great areas of South Africa. That ability alone, they are able to win the ball back and find the pass that follows you winning the ball back could very well set up the goal scoring chance because the defense is disorganized. They are expecting the ball to move in the opposite direction. And I don't believe we're expecting to lose it at all. The pressure. You have to wonder how long they can maintain this. And it's made a big difference to Angola's lack of rhythm. And again, Angola, knowing they're up against the host nation, would have expected the opening 15, 20, 25 minutes to, well, be a bit rough here. They look to weather the storm. And we'll look to turn the tide as the half does wear on with the Angolans. It worked in and putting it back. And the skillful back heels in as Augusto, the captain, helps them play out of discomfort. It's too easily given away inside their own half. And the South Africans pushing forward. Yeah, here's the chance. And oh, they needed a much, much better ending then. In fact, maybe another touch before the eventual shot. But again, for Modu, she'll be happy with the fact that the continuous ability to win the ball in the side, deep inside the opposition half is creating those chances. It's all about keeping their heads now and converting them. Now, yellow card shown here. There was a late challenge on Usiwe Ndimeni. We suspect it's Dokasia that's picked up the yellow card, but we will confirm that for you in the next few moments. Yeah, just too quick. And was fully committed into the challenge. Then was Dokasia and had left the ground with both feet and studs showing. So with the amount of pressure they have been on defensively, she now needs to be careful with her challenges. Problem is, South Africa have created a good few chances over the last 10 minutes. Some worrisome chances for the Angolans, maybe I should say. Not too many, but there's been worrisome moments. And the Angolans now are not only showing frustration, which is the expression written all over the coach's face. Sosa Garcia. So that frustration and desperation is beginning to show in some of their challenges as well, which is what led to the yellow card. So, set piece South Africa. Again, the Steve. So many back. and there are very few outlets for the Angolans to look to ahead, are able to work something out here, or maybe not. Strong play here, good play. But, the one major problem for the Angolans is the fact that they haven't established a pattern of play at all inside 20 minutes. At no point have we seen them stitch together the 4 or 5 passes and just take control of a moment in this match, even if it's just 5 minutes, where they just hold on to the ball. They don't have to be hurting the South Africans. They could be going nowhere slowly, but enjoy some time on the ball. In very little time it takes for the South Africans to win the ball back here. All played in, and the movement is good. The touch is even better, and South Africa deservedly gets the opening goal. It's been coming. No matter when it came, it's something a little bit special, I think it's safe to say. The memory, this time, turning provider, moving out wide to that right side, and the touch was special from Refila Mateko, and just the timing on the run, and the awareness and situational awareness, knowing where the goalkeeper was and what needed to be done from that point on. Just a touch, that's enough. And for once, just this once, Margaret was caught flat-footed. She slows down, but she realizes there's trouble. It's too late. South Africa in the lead. Now, chance for the Angolans in what is quite a response. And, well, suddenly we remember there is someone in goal from a South African point of view. Nakakola. Well, South Africa took about 20 or so minutes, but as time went on in this first half, they really became more and more of a threat. And the one special aspect of their game here has been the ability to not allow Angola to play, win the ball back, mostly in the Angolan half of the field, and take things from there. And it's served them well. So the Angolans now have to put it all together, find themselves, show us their style here, their belief in themselves, and make a fight between these two nations. Can they? Or will we see yet another Group A encounter that ended in a similar fashion, or that ends in a similar fashion to the one we saw earlier today, where Mozambique and, well, what can easily be called one-way traffic, and I mean that respectfully, against Mauritius. And 4-0 at the end of the first half, and 5-0 at the end of 90. Pretty much lets you know how that match went, but wasn't what they got, and they got it in some style too. It wasn't a game you could easily walk away from, especially in the first half. Credit to the Mauritians. In the second half, they made it a tougher game for Mozambique, but that first half, Mozambique came up with some special moments. Well played in then. It's flashing a shot, and in the end, it's not a flash shot at all. And jot that down as the best moment in this match so far. The Angolans. And a little reminder to the South Africans that, well, they are here to put up a fight. Ball ends, decent ball. South Africa having to work to get it clear. Quite on the business just yet here on the defensive end. They will get the decision from the referee, which may frustrate one or two of the Angolan ladies. Oh, this was hit well on the half volley. Hit exceptionally well on the half volley then. And Makakula now with one or two moments of discomfort since South Africa scored the goal. So that goal seems to have woken Angola up. Here they are looking to push forward once again. Good boy, playing up parts in the middle of the field quite impressively. That's nicely done then. South Africa looking to get in behind that defense once again. Could be a chance in the making here. The challenge. Desperate lunge then to take the ball away from Shamasa, who may have been hurt in the process. South Africa looking good for a possible goal at that moment, and the Angolans were rather desperate. It just fell for South Africa. Yeah, rolled kindly for Shamase and an ankle. Could have been done in there. I'm hoping it's not that serious, but that's taking the time getting up, and the good sign is that she is getting up on her feet and walking out is the 20-year-old. I mentioned there are some youngsters out there, and when we heard the interview before this match got underway, the coach made it clear that there are a good number of young players, including a few teenagers out there as well. Come on, it. Only 20 years of age, but out at UJ in October. For those who don't know, by UJ, I mean University of Johannesburg. Nice touch. As the Angolans look to capitalize on this near side, it's nicely done in slowing them down for just a moment. And they need some of their stars here to step up here and get involved in the game here to Angola. Gongwina wearing the number 10 jersey seems to be one that might just have that ability, arrogance in the way she carries herself and plays, but she could bring out the best in others here and trying to bring parity to the scoreline. So as we approach half an hour's play, I think it's safe to say that the one goal lead may very well not be enough. No way. Have had moments. Angola, yes, they haven't played all too well as the pole possession stats will remind us. Ball in. One or two moments. I mean, they do have the ability to make something out of nothing, which is really what they got. Something out of absolutely nothing and out of the blue. Nice touch once again on that occasion. The captain, very quick to express herself. Baya. So I spoke with those players that have the ability to bring the best in others. It's Baya, it's Gongwinya. Yeah, looking to get through the opponent to get to the ball then. Pretty simple. Why the free kick was given to the South Africans? That's the frustration of Christina. Good movement. Get a touch and something may have been on. And the offside flag not gone up. Offside official. Luto Mapara from Lesotho. So, those of you that may not have heard, there's an interesting little fact about this year's tournament. Just yet today, maybe you've just gotten home after a long, hard day of work, but the number of substitutes has been increased to 5 per match in this year's COSAFA Cup. The whole idea is to make things more interesting from a coaching point of view, in that with that many subs, you can really come up as a coach with a complete tactical change. And well, the idea is to see how many coaches are able to use that to the best of their ability. What we saw earlier in the game that ended 5-0 in favor of Mozambique was 4 goals scored in the first half, and Mozambique still looking to continue in the same vein in the second, but not creating not nearly as many chances thanks to the number of changes made and how they read up defensively. That's being Mauritius. So in the end, it was just 1 more goal scored in the game. That was in the second half. Good movement on this near side. Nicely done defensively in dealing with the movements. What is interesting about the changes that can be made is they can only be done at a maximum of 3 different intervals. The 5 changes made, so you have to choose your 3 moments as a coach to maximize on what you see as being necessary tactically to stop the rut or change things around. Go forward then, and well, South Africa may still end up with a chance at goal. Yeah, it's beautifully done and finding the space. And the shot wasn't bad at all, but the save was top notch to 9 Dimeni. And tell you what, she's had a great game as Dimeni. Really have enjoyed watching her play. Another out there who plays the tough football for TUT ladies, and oh my, she's been troublesome for this Angolan side, and things have gotten physical for her from time to time, and you can understand why with her movement and how troublesome she is. Well, she is. Great first touch, great situational awareness and knowing where to take the ball with that first touch to create the space to then run into. The years of experience under the belt really serving her well. Situation where Margaret plays a an important role in keeping things nice and tight defensively for the Angolans. So, for those of you wondering, there will be a total of 3 venues used for live matches, or for actual tournament matches, I should say, in correcting myself, for this year's Hollywood Bets COSAFA Women's Championships. The Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium will be up for a couple of days, of course, in getting things started with Group A and Group B action. Then we'll be moving on to the Matibas and the Master Goldston Stadium. Now, chance here. Great chance it is! And the finish is top notch. That's exactly what the South Africans needed as this half moved on. She enjoyed it, and they enjoyed it out in the stands. Tell you what, nobody's waited more than Shamase with that finish. Well, the thing about chances is that you have to take them when you create them. And Kumelele Shamase, the latest with the chance for South Africa, and she's taken her chance superbly. All played in here. And again, the ability to just force the errors high up the field defensively, then in making the Angolans lose the ball is crucial for Lulu's side. And, well, she can afford a dance or two here with how well things have gone in this first half. I wondered about the pace of the game. The South Africans started the game with the tempo and how long they could maintain it. Now my thinking is on a different note, wondering if it's taken something out of the Angolans and the ability to push on in this match. In the meantime, safety first for the Angolans here. They won't be taking any chances they don't need here. They need to regroup and best case scenario, keep things as they are. Worst case scenario until half time. Best case scenario, maybe score a goal or two between now and then, but that so far seems unlikely. Very much so. That's London. Sees the ball roll kindly for the South Africans, but Vitboy didn't seem impressed with the contact she had received from the opponent then. What is it? In the battle in the air. Now, the Angolans with some good numbers in the South African half here, but they sent the ball forward aimlessly, hoping to make something happen rather than with intent. And speaking of hope, that shot says a lot. Well, again, mentioned this earlier. South Africa have traditionally used this tournament to groom younger talent in the women's ranks and give them a chance to maybe give South Africans hope of a brighter future. Hey, what's after everything that's happened over the last month? Qualification for the World Cup, being crowned African champions, and the start just here in the 38 minutes. Many South Africans will be thinking, yeah, the pitch on that, just right, but also many will be smart, maybe old enough, I should say, to not want to get ahead of themselves. But South Africa and Zambia qualifying for the World Cup, great times for COSAFA football, Hollywood Brits, and the COSAFA Women's Championship have come together perfectly in support of women's football in the region. Kelly is enjoying themselves as well, thanks to how well things are going here. Tanzania, those of you who don't know, Tanzania came down as guests last year, walked away as champions. First shock was Malawi beating South Africa in the semi-finals, so maybe the favorite tag may have been put on Malawi. They went on to stumble lose by just a goal to nil to Tanzania in the final. Taking control of play here are the South Africans. Vilagazi. Tamasi. Again, the ball is so impressive from Dimemi. A lot of ground here, and has been a thorough headache for Margaret in this first half. I don't mind she's with the socks off. Now, South Africa still pushing on here with Nangela amongst those involved here and trying to open up the Angolans and well, appeals for a possible penalty then. Nothing coming from the referee, but well, not just one, but a good two or three South Africans gave up what seemed good shouts, good confident shouts of a possible decision that should be going their way. Good movement from deep. And the angle of the pass didn't match the movements from Kailani. Can't confirm for your team, just checked that appeal from a South African point of view. And well, we'll put it down for you and you can see for yourself, but the referee was on the money. Comfortable. The South Africans as Litoso combines with Ramwaka. Now has work out on the far side and looking to work it down the line. Then strength needed. South Africa continued to power forward towards that byline. Strength in the end was what was necessary to bring all of that to a halt in South Africa. So earlier, we wondered whether there should have been a penalty call here. Pauline comes off the midriff and rolls kindly towards the goalkeeper. Then it has been broken down to me. The speed at which it all happened will, of course, make many out there question whether it was a handball or not, especially the height at which there was contact with the ball. Two ladies are looking as though they are suffering physically out there. Christina is most certainly one of them, looking big and strong coming into the match, but it's really been a taxing afternoon for Christina Nakua. Plays a club football for Clinica Delgada Esperanca. Keep in mind, all of the ladies play their football within Angolan borders, and South Africa have done likewise in the squad they've selected for this tournament, selecting just locally based players. Well anticipated on the defensive side, and well, the error with that first touch where the Angolans now may look to capitalize on that in the time that remains in this first half. If they are looking for that moment of inspiration going into the halftime break, this time period we're on means that it needs to come soon, sooner rather than later. It's been a first half, if you have joined us late, where the South Africans have been pretty much in control here. The game plan has worked like a team for the Zulu. So, the fans that have come out have been pretty great. Not only enjoying the good attacking moments, but also applauding the moments where defensively a clearance comes in. Mungwinya, the transfer shot from range with the South Africans and other ideas about that, and eventually the shot that does come in comes from clear the foot balance and not having the ability to get some power on that shot because of that situation. So Locasia, the lady who picked up a yellow card earlier on in the game was the lady with the shot for the Angolans, but she's not the lady who's down here and struggling in pain. This is Sada, who seems to be struggling. We've seen a good few, but the Angolan players go down and stay down in this first half, especially the latter stages. I say a few because it's, more than usual in this part of the game. So 1 minute added on to the end of the first half where South Africa has been in full control. And those that may be questioned whether they would be able with the young squad to hit the ground in the open match in Group A. Well, they have some of the worries put to bed with just what they've seen here in the first half. But still, plenty of football to be played in the second half. Plenty of changes to be made as well. Keep in mind there'll be 5 changes made in the second half. Means things could still go this way and that in the seconds. There you have it. A half that's been enjoyable to watch. Yes, but you are South African. They started off well. They applied pressure. They took the game away from the Angolans, did the South Africans, and well, in the end, started to do what was absolutely necessary and something they've threatened to do on a few occasions, but failed to do, and that is score goals. A couple of them in this first half means South Africa sitting pretty at the end of the first 45 here in this Group A encounter. Half time, it's South Africa 2, Angola 0.
Is a tradition that man, or indeed a human being, is born in. Naturally, we are born with Ubuntu. We live with it. We come into this world with that.
Ubuntu ninshila iyo abantu basenderamu ifyo umuntu afwiri okuba n'efyo afwiri okukita n'efyo afwiri okwikaliramu Ubuntu.
Chitemiko, Ubuntu mutende.
Ubuntu nikukhala pamoja. Ubuntu nikusama. Ubuntu nikukondana.
The desire to contribute to positive changes within rural communities is my strong motivation to work hard for my society. For me, that is Ubuntu.
Ubuntu means humbleness. Ubuntu means humility. Ubuntu means love.
Ubuntu is I'm a person because of a person. Actually a person. I'm who I am because of who we are.
What Ubuntu means to me is the ability to look at the need of others and be able to put yourself in their position, be able to do something about it.
We're going to be offering some of our viewers more content, and apart from more content, we are going to expect our viewers to be participating more, and then we want also our viewers to also like our channel.
Yes, and they should like it on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and also on YouTube. And not to forget that our content is reliable. It's not fake news. We do not have fake news on this channel.
Globally, 85% of infertility is because of infections, typically the chlamydia and the gonorrhea.
Your time is up. Thank you so much.
Since have been mentioned, I can react to what comment just.
Yes,
I haven't finished my point.
Remember,
No, I haven't finished my point so that my brother can.
Does the Patriotic Front know the kind of damage they have done to our economy and to our country? I do not.
The alleged abduction of Pamela Chisupa, and this case has really kept us on our toes. And as much as
nobody has been acquitted from this new dawn administration cases that have been started. There's nobody that has been acquitted. Okay?
CJ, foreplay. I'm not talking about jump and begin acting like a kangaroo. No. Foreplay. Many of us as Africans, we lack this virtue. This is not there.
Yeah, the time twaye ku Malabo. What's our the first game twale tena wa Senegal. I think very tutasana underrated because even the home up, you can see the way they are doing home up. Bare munakati ora na wawina kale nyoko.
It's actually good if you start creating competition in the team. If you don't create competition, then you will have a problem who to replace when one is injured. Because
I think the names people have been calling me, I accepted them and I welcomed them. But what I would prefer being called as a nickname, I would prefer being called Sambalung.
reminding you that this is the fifth tournament that we are hosting as a city. And that's the reason why we are hosting, because it's very important. It's important to us because this shows that we as a city is interested in the development of women, especially women's soccer. And you know that COSAFA is running their education program as well. What are some of those financial insights that help in terms of the city and the growth? In terms of the investment that we've made, we have invested about 11 million rand into the COSAFA tournament, but we know that the return to investment may even double because our city will visit people will be out there shopping, they will be spending time at the hotels. There's about 12 teams that will be here in the city for over the weekend. So we are very excited because we know in terms of economic spin-off, the city is going to get. And we know that it's in our country, jobs as well has been one of those things that has been occurring in the country. So it is like this program also it does. Because just for this tournament, today there was a workshop was held in the city where we trained about 20 coaches, 20 refugees, and all these refugees and coaches, they move to the next level. They started in the lower level, they move, and at the end of the day, they become provincial and national refugees for those teams. We also have drivers, all our people that we get into the program to do work, employed, are taken from our local community. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Mayor Johnson from the Nelson Mandela Day municipality itself. Extremely nice and it is a first time that the tournament has been held here in person, so that it is becoming the first one. So the concept to the game is Banyana who are 2-0 up for posting to that reason. The biggest thing for her was seeing how the team will gel together as well as playing as a unit. As she's only had 3 days with the team, this is only the third day. But when you look at Coach Joseph, he is making those senior players. And we spoke about how they move the missing pieces and try to draw the team together. But certainly the team is struggling and you can see that that's a very team. Those players rather need to still when you look at the team. A lot of work to do for Angola going into the second half, but as it stands, it is the whole solution with the advantage. We'll be back now.
Globally, 85% of infertility is because of infections, typically the chlamydia and the gonorrhea.
Your time is up. Thank you so much.
Okay, since I've been mentioned, I can react to what comment Chinda just
Yes.
said.
I haven't finished my point.
Remember,
No, I haven't let me finish my point so that my brother can.
Does the Patriotic Front know the kind of damage they have done to our economy and to our country? I do not.
The alleged abduction of Pamela Chisupa, and this case has really kept us on our toes. And in as much as
nobody has been acquitted from this new dawn administration cases that have been started, there's nobody that has been acquitted. Okay.
85% of infertilities because of infections, typically the chlamydia and the gonorrhea.
Your time is up. Thank you so much.
Since I've been mentioned, I can react to what comment Chinda just
Yes.
said.
I haven't finished my point.
Remember,
Let me finish my point so that my brother can.
Does the Patriotic Front know the kind of damage they have done to our economy and to our country? I do not.
The alleged abduction of Pamela Chisupa, and this case has really kept us on our toes. And in as much as
nobody has been acquitted from this new dawn administration cases that have been started. There's nobody that has been acquitted. Okay?
CJ, foreplay. I'm not talking about jump and begin acting like a kangaroo. No, foreplay. Many of us as Africans, we lack this virtue. This is not there.
Yeah, the time twaje ku Malabo. Quite the first game twale tena wa Senegal. I think very sana underrated because even the home up, you can see the way they are doing home up. Bare munagati bora na wawina kale nyoko.
Oh, it's actually good if you start creating competition in the team. If you don't create competition, then you will have a problem who to replace when one is injured.
I think the names people have been calling me, I accepted them and I welcomed them. But what I would prefer being called as a nickname, I would prefer being called Sambalung.
No real intention to play the ball then. Extremely late. Maybe lucky is just a yellow. Took off left both feet. Went with real intent to make, lack of a better word, violent contact. So we saw this tactic used by the South Africans in the first half, where they start off the set piece with three ladies in the offside positions. The ball in, then overcooked. Get the slight touch of the keeper. Was mindful of the movement of Villarreal out on their far side. Was will be hoping that it is a side that scores the first goal of this second half. That's the most crucial aspect in the beginning stages here of this second half. Which way the momentum swings. So yeah, was mentioning the Matiba Stadium, the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium, the Isaac Wilkerson Stadium are the venues used on match days. We'll be here for a couple of days before we start to. And all the communities fully involved here. The Westbourne Oval, Galvandale Stadium, Kelly's FC, Hearts FC, NMU B Field, NMB Stadium B Field. So the community has really come together to make sure that this is a tournament that is fully supported by those in the Windy City. Now, to get it in behind the defense comes to naught. Keep in mind, there are just 12 teams in this year's tournament. Angola, Botswana, Comoros, Eswatini, Lesotho, Malawi, Mauritius, who took the thumping to Mozambique earlier on in the day. 5-0 the scoreline. Both those teams in Group A, so both South Africa and Angola to still face both those teams. Let's not forget Namibia, Tanzania, and Zambia. Now, the skill in using the initial defender. In the end, the decision is what was lacking then in the final movement that will open up the Angolan defense. First 10 minutes has gone by here. Ball over the top, could present the chance. That's good movement, lovely take. Defender's done enough. Oh, that's creative play in setting it up for the shot, and a disappointing ending for Shamase, who's already in amongst the scorers. Well, she'll certainly feel she should be doing better with that, keeping on target at the very least, the young lady from University of Johannesburg. But you have to love the effort from Ndimemi. Once again here, she really is a problem, a huge problem for this Angolan side to deal with. Also brings the best out of those around her, such as Shama Sen. We saw that from the likes of Maseko as well, who has made way in the only change made by the South Africans, by the way. Izamugwena coming on in their place. Well, they'll be hoping the injury is not a serious one here. there are a few teams that are watching from afar. Comoros is one of them in Group C, alongside Tanzania, Malawi, and Botswana. We believe Mauritius and Mozambique stuck around to watch the first half, but left, having played earlier in the day, having seen enough. Of course, they would have been able to get back to the hotel quickly enough to make it there for the second half. Really about Port Elizabeth. There's size. Won't take them too long to get to the hotel. And, well, the community is certainly feeling the presence of the ladies, hard pressed to move around the hotels and such on Summer Strand and not run into a team with tracksuits and national colors. Lesotho, also another team that is watching from the stands. They, of course, are in Group B with Zambia, Namibia, and Eswatini. Now, pull over the top is a good one here. A little isolated. There's Christina. Let's wait for help to arrive again. Africans are looking to be responsible about their defensive duties. A good attempt was in the end then. Matched up by Makakula, but tell you what, Angola, who are about to make a change, are patiently awaiting that all-important moment of the first goal scored in the second half. Now pull over the top here, and the option moving infield as South Africa look for that all-important third and much breathing space in the scoreline. So, some excitement coming from those out in the stands then as South Africa and another promising moment in the making. That's where the supporters have been great here. It's watching the moments of promise and really getting behind the team before there's the clear-cut opportunity. The pressure applied. That's where the South Africans have done well in defending right from the front. Made life as horrible as possible for the Angolans who will be making the change here. Nella will be making way. So the change they are making is seemingly a defensive one. Now, South Africa looking to keep the opponents on the back foot. In the ball forward, well, overcooked and looks comfortable for the goalkeeper for just a moment. And a little bit of pressure being applied then, but nothing that should have forced that error out of Mimi. In the end, she is
They are contesting the final. Virtually just a day of recovery. That's the yesterday.
Yeah, not easy. You want to be sympathetic to their cause, but then again,
they are contesting the final.
Nasty time on the far side, little shuffle and then the movement off the ball in! Important defensive touch, and then it's out on its way here as the Angolans survive another moment. Yes, not a chance, but it looked a promising moment from the South Africans. You can feel those moments coming and the reaction from those out in the stands as well. There you have it, little skill here to keep things moving. Hope you enjoyed that. Vilagasi, of course, with the little shuffle as well. Lovely movement of the ball as well. All just adding to the frustration of the Angolan defense. See what Witboy has gone about the business in such a disciplined fashion in the heart of that South African midfield. Pulled in, you post and out in the far, the header comes in, keeper doesn't hold on. And in the end, she needed a defense to desperately help out. Then Ramoaka is the lady that had the clearance that's made a difference, huge difference. Game of inches at times. Moments make a huge difference. Acrobatic stuff on the near post. Look, the textbook header on the far. Keeper did enough to get hands onto it, but still needed a lot of help from a defense in dealing with the danger. wondering whether the Angolans now will be inspired by the moments they've had most recently and look to create a bit more. Their confidence may very well have been boosted just a bit here, going towards the last 20 minutes. All in, battle of strength in the middle. It also didn't have the keenness of connections, but also didn't have the keenness of connections. Take command of the area. Again, Makapula was there to take command of the area. Now, let's go the chance to push forward here. See what the intention was, but well, needed to be executed in much better fashion than what we saw from Kailani. Fortunately for Kailani, she bent over immediately following that to do shoelaces, and they continued around the TUT ladies player. So as I mentioned earlier, it's hard to move around Summerstrand and not feel the presence of the ladies footballers all around the area that are taking part in the COSAFA Cup. Things will change as time does move on. South Africa again looking to create another chance, then good footwork, and they thought they should have had a set piece then. Some of the fans, if the sounds that are coming out of the stands are anything to go by, but it's Angola pushing forward here, looking to pull one back that might lead to two. Again, they need to play with better intent, make better decisions than that, especially from the experienced players such as the CD Executor player out in Angola, Longuinha. Yeah, so we will enjoy the group stages between today and the 6th of next month. And then the third times will hit the area, so to speak, as then the teams that haven't qualified for the knockout stages will then be eliminated and depart from Port Elizabeth, or returning to their various homes. And then we'll have just a couple of rounds of matches. And, well, there will be another departure of teams. Just after the 7th, I think around the 8th, 3rd, and 4th playoffs. So, the joy we've had. Pride, I think it's safe to say, from a Southern African point of view, and all the ladies around the various hotels and just around the area that are using different areas to, of course, train and just uplifting the community. We'll be going home as the tournament pushes on. Tamba will come on here for Da Costa. So Leicester themselves will be making a change here. Anangela will make way. And it's Villarati on in a place. Tell you who's had a good game. Nimemi may not have been in amongst the games, but really has been outstanding here today. Sam coming on in her place. And Sam, the player just on here, the Temper Sam, of course, from Cape Town Roses, out in the Western Cape. In fact, when you look at the South African bench, it really then offers you some insight as to how far and wide they've gone in picking some of these ladies. Yes, when you look at the starting 11 when the match got underway, looks like a few JTUG ladies, Vasco da Gama, as the chance pops up and the keeper's there to make the save. And South Africa again have other opportunities, gone wide of the mark. Playing a part. Just done. First touch, very nearly turning into a goal in for Sam. Would have been the perfect start to her tournament, scoring with her first touch. We made for quite an argument with the coach then to be a starter. Coach, one touch, one goal. I think there's a better argument than that for a goal scorer. Good work in the middle of the park then to win it back then for the Angolans. Again, they are very quick to get numbers over that halfway line here. They are showing ambition in that regard, working harder now to not only defend as a group, but also attack as a unit to try and force some errors out of South Africa, create some joy for themselves. Sam is quick. It's beyond one defender. Gives, looking for the 1-2, and in the end she's offside then. And the flag had gone up before she would have been brought to ground. My, she's quick. Well, they would have been glad to see the back of the Memi. Now, they won't be too sure which is better, the Memi out there or Sam. No question as to whether that's offside or not. Easy call to have to make. Proper call nonetheless. She's worked hard. As Margareta, keep in mind, she's also been on a yellow card for some time here in this second half. So maybe beginning to feel the effects of all that hard work physically. Well, it's been a fun outing as we end Women's Month here in South Africa. Nice to see some ladies out in support of the ladies' game here in Southern Africa. And some young men have also come out here. Some took some time off school, and many after school made their way straight to the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium here to enjoy. So plenty of youth as well out in the stands, which is interesting to see in the support that come out here for the ladies. And I'm sure they'll be thoroughly entertained with what they've seen. 5 goals in the first game, but tough. Second game that's not so one-sided, but South Africa pretty much in control for the most part. Now, time and space here, looking for movement. Is that Thailand? They've been quick to get numbers over that halfway line when they win it back. That isn't quite the case this time around. I mean, the lady on the ball has a bit to do in keeping it alive. Good skill. But again, not enough numbers still. Falls for Angola. Lumina. The lady with the last shot on target then. Now, this is onside here, so South Africa will look to make or take advantage of the situation to the best of their ability. Solid challenge with a statement too. Seen that a lot from Ngongwenya, which I've thoroughly enjoyed here. Right from the first half, where Sheldon Nappy just giving up the loss. She's up there to fight and make things happen defensively and offensively, not just on the defensive end, but she's got something to offer going forward as Ngongwenya. Just Angola haven't really been able to come together to conjure up enough moments here that of enough quality to open up South Africa. Leaves in a group of ladies to a point they had a dancing in the first half, and they scored that second goal. Crucial that she's having a word with Vitboy, who has the ability to take control of the game in midfield. A good job they do at holding on to it over the last 12 minutes. Better their chances of coasting to a 3-point haul in their first match. For Angola, the next game will be against Mozambique, which is one you may not want to miss, especially with what the Mozambicans showed us earlier today. They really made a statement, but they'll be up against better opposition on the 3rd of next month. The South Africans will face a Mauritian side that already took 5 against Mozambique, and the expectation will be for South Africa to push on and make it 6 points by putting Mauritius to the sword. Whether that will be the case remains to be seen, but such is life. Changes being made here. Simone Souls coming on here for Kailani. And Michelle Sampson is coming on as well. So there's confirmation with Shamaste making way then for Souls. That was the first of the last 2 changes made. And Kailani made way for Sampson in the end. on the 12th of next month. And then would have been served up with plenty of entertainment, and we'll have a picture of clear picture of who the champions will be. And with opening day winding down here, South Africa may very well have made a statement. And let's not forget that forget that Mozambique also that good start to the day. That's a lovely turn. Smart in keeping the ball rolling and keeping the Angolans chasing. A lot of things have gone right for South African women over the last year or so. The Hollywood Best League, the Mamelodi Sundowns team and their success on the continent. No need to mention they are African champs as we speak. Won't be looking to have a good showing. The World Cup, but before all of that, let's not forget Brazil will be coming down. The South American champions play the African champions early next month. There's a game to look forward to. Lando Stadium on the 2nd and I believe on the 5th out at the Moses Mapida Stadium. And on the 2nd and I believe changes are made here out at the Moses Mapida Stadium. The Angolans changes are made here. The Angolans. Panda. There's the one lady on, Maria Panda. Augusto is the lady that made way for Panda, by the way. Nice skill. Not past one, but couldn't use the skill to get past the seconds. It'll be very interesting to hear what the coaches will have to say at the end of this match, speaking to Mbali with regards to how they feel about both halves here. Yes, South Africa did do the business in the first half. Angola maybe a bit more disciplined defensively in how they handle the ball inside their own half when they're in control of it. Lost it way too many times in that first half. But won't be surprised to hear the Angolan coach Sosa Garcia maybe feeling his side could have given him more in the second half. Important defensive touch. And it's not good enough though. There's another important touch and powerful movement going forward here as the Angolans desperately look to, at the very least, pull one back. Yeah, gave the referee absolutely no choice then. The card will accompany the challenge on Liza Mogoena. Strong in protecting the ball. Only too strong in the end for Marizette. So going into the last couple of minutes of 90 here, we are still waiting the signal on how much time will be added on. Interesting to note that of the 3 yellow cards shown during the course of this match, all of them have gone to Angolan players. Marizette, Margaret, as well as Tokasia. Nice touch. Could be a chance here in the making for the South Africans. It's a lovely bit of skill and a great individual effort. What a way to end what's been a great day in starting the Hollywood Vets COSAFA Women's Championship. A superb individual effort where we all take our hats off to Sam. Lovely footwork, great composure, just taking the extra touch, and you had to wonder whether that was enough for one too many. In the end, she had it all in check. She found the back of the net, yes. First touch, check. Turns, check. Now, situational awareness, check, and the quality in the strike, check. And there you go. She was going to get down and dance to that goal as well. She just wasn't allowed to then do a little, but what a way to end the day. South Africa making a statement here. 3 scored against Angola after Mozambique had scored 5 against Mauritius. Many will point out the difference in class in the losing sides here. And many, I do believe, will argue South Africa may have had the tougher opponents. But tell you what, and as far as firepower, Lulu's side has plenty of it. Either bucket load. Two minutes. Added on to the 90. All about maintaining the discipline now for the host nation. The young ladies out there that include, keep in mind, in the squad a couple of 17 and 16-year-olds will take a lot from this encounter in confidence gathered. They certainly will be looking forward to the next encounter against Mauritius. And I'll tell you what, the response they've gotten from this Port Elizabeth fan base at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium has really been encouraging. So they'll be looking to convince even more fans to support them in the matches coming up outside here. It really creates excitement out in the stand as soon as the pass is played forward. The movement again of Sam. Early on it was Ndimiri, but Sam also has that pace that is seriously troubling opposition sides here. Looking for a good start on the opening day for the tournament organizers, including all the teams involved here on this opening day. Tell you what, Mozambique had a great start. South Africa will feel they had a great start as well after doing the business here against Angola, who fought hard but found maybe there was just too much quality in the opposition they faced here today. Sam was the third of the goals scored and was absolute class and quality in the individual efforts she scored. Tamase scored in the first along with Maseko, and defensively they also had to earn their stripes in keeping things nice and tight. Perfect start for the host nation. The most successful nation in this tournament starts off with a goal for every point they bag pushing forward. South Africa 3, Angola no. The first off, and one have to mention Dimemi and her contribution in creating for others here. Ball play didn't get that all-important touch from Maseko that gets the beating of not only the keeper but the defender as well. Margaretu wasn't aware that the keeper wasn't in a position to be able to deal with this. By the time she came to, in that regard, there was, well, trouble, and, well, it was murder, she wrote. They had moments. This immediately following the goal was one of those moments. Good shot. Into another corner, but the response to conceding the goal was rather impressive here from the Angolans. They immediately got onto the front foot and started asking questions of their South African defense. That was nice to see. Now, again, it's anyway in the number 10 jersey. Going up on the far side this time, that being Ndimemi. And in the end, it's perfectly set up for Shamasi to back second. That was in the first half, and things were very much going according to plan for Coach Simpiwe Zulu. South Africa were making a statement to all the other teams watching on. So much so that she could afford herself a dance move or two out there. Now, all in here, and much better display defensively needs to be said in the second half for the Angolans until this moment. Heart and mouth moment, but that's a complete mistake then. Unfortunately, she was just to the side of the goal, otherwise there could have been problems. Then that header causes problems with the South Africans, but well, for Kakula, she has the support of her teammates in helping her clear the danger. So they came together when they needed to, with Ramoaka then coming off to the clearance. Changes were made, and how's this for individual brilliance? Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. In control the entire time. Situational awareness exactly where it needed to be. And by the time they were in the final